Hi there, all of you, and welcome to my kitchen garden in Sweden. It's now like 7 o'clock in the evening, and this is how the garden looks at the moment. And here I am, and this is how I look right now. I have been nearly thrown out of my house. Hello, Jennifer, nice to see you. My daughter is staying with a friend tonight, and there's only boys in the house, and they said, can't you just go sleep somewhere else so we can have a boys' night? So I said to them that, well, you can have a boys' night, and I'm going to go out in my kitchen garden and do some work. And here I am. My neighbors, they just started their grass clipping machine, but I hope it's okay that you will hear what I'm saying. I thought that I would give you just a short update. Stinky boys, yeah, after this very sunny day, it's been so hot in Sweden, we are not used to this. So we have been staying at the beach for quite a long time today. I have been away writing also on my next manuscript, so I'm all sweaty. All right. I am creating a new part in the garden where I'm going to grow vegetables. I don't think I have told you that much about it in my English Instagram, Sara's Kitchen Garden, but I have made some live stories on my Swedish channel. So I thought I would today give you an update and show you what I am doing, because I really enjoy this work and it's great fun to do some new things. This garden, I have been growing it for like 9 years. So next year is my 10th university anniversary, right? So it's nice to do something else. But before I'll take you to that place, I will show you very briefly how the kitchen garden looks like at the moment. So I will step this rock I have in the garden, where I have a very good view. So here is this area. It's very difficult to grow it at the moment because it's very, very dry. I have had this kind of water hose. It's I think you call it a soaker hose, and it's a very good one, but I had to remove it while preparing those beds for next sowings. Some carrots and parsley, and I'm going to grow corn salads and radishes in here. And those beds are like deep dug bed, and I grow peppers in here, and it's been very difficult to grow peppers simply because we had a very late frost in late May. We had 8 degrees minus. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's very, very cold. And well, basically all my peppers and tomatoes, they were destroyed. Not completely though, because they kept growing. But they are very, very delayed, and I don't have that much fruits on them yet, but hopefully they will give me something. But I don't think I will grow them there next year, unfortunately. I have plenty of blueberries. And it's like a hedge to this area. Nice to hear about the bokashi, Jennifer. With raised beds, it's a very good way to start a kitchen garden. I hope you get some good results. So now we see the blueberries start to ripen. They need a few more days, but I think the kids will find them very soon, and then they will be gone. But it's a good year for blueberries this year. Whoops. As you can see, in most parts of the garden this year, I don't have any flowers, and I feel very sad about that. But that was a decision I took after last summer when it was that. I will not grow close to each other. I will not fill the garden beds with the vegetables. I will leave some space, and I will definitely not grow summer flowers among the vegetables, because the summer flowers are very thirsty, and we don't have that much water. And in nearly all parts of Sweden at this time, there is we don't have enough water. Also in this area it's very, very dry. So I left the flowers and instead I made this area. It's actually 5 garden beds that I put together in one big one, and I grow some flowers in here. I really like to watch them, but they are just they are not that many, unfortunately. But I think I have a solution for next summer. This area, all green. Thank you, Jennifer, for your support. Well, you know how it is when you plan and schedule like things, and you have your dream and are so excited to grow things. And I am good in growing summer flowers as well as vegetables, but I had to take that decision. I am proud that I did it. I like the idea, but still I feel this. I miss it. I miss the colors, because I think it's a bit boring with all the greens. Tomatoes in this area from Nikitovka seeds in Ukraine, and they are well, they are very late, and also because they froze in May, I soon have a few tomatoes. See over here. It's not very common in Sweden to grow tomatoes in the open. I think it works really fine if you choose the varieties carefully. And in this bed I grow the bushy varieties. I think it's only one, by the way, but yeah. And I think mulching the beds are the best way to grow vegetables in this kind of climate that we have. Here are the root celeriac, and leek, and more tomatoes. And the leek, they are really, really nice. And under the net, of course, you see my kale and cabbage. And I keep the net to to keep away the butterflies and moths and flies. I have a video for you soon about broccoli and how I grow it. Plenty of nice looking plants. There's one funny thing this year. When I started my season, I said to myself that, well, Sara, this year, please don't start new projects. Just care for the one you have already. All right, so I thought that was a very good idea. And the truth is, I simply love new projects. So I am now finishing another manuscript for a book together with Maria Fors Östberg. It is, we are presenting like 16 vegetables for beginners. And while writing, I thought, well, why not create this, a bit of a new garden, a raised bed garden that we have not seen before in my books. So in a very short time, I created this area, and it is now, I think, well, the most like lush vegetable place in the garden. I have 2 more boxes to fill. It's just weeds in here. So I fill them with weeds and then top with soil. And this one I planted yesterday. And they are all created this season. And as you can see, I have mixed a lot of plants all together. Looks pretty nice, I think. And very easy way to start a garden. Now I will move on to another section that I have not had before. And this one is really interesting. And this part of the garden, it doesn't look that, thriving and interesting, and it's a complete mess at the moment, and the cars are just ugly. But I will turn the camera and just show you. And here's our dog making funny noises. Right, so in this area, all the way here, was a huge border with flowers, with perennial flowers, and an apple tree in here. I created that area, I think in 2010 or 9. We had then 2 children, and I was very happy about that place. It looked just beautiful. I had a lot of blue flowers, and it was beautiful, really beautiful. And that was the first thing I did in this garden with flowers, and it meant a lot to me to create that area and to see that I could like change a place to a beautiful place, because everything here was just messy. And then we had this huge lawn. It's not really fun to watch it. So we had 2 kids when I did that project, and then in a short while we had some more kids, and my time disappeared, and I found that it was far more interesting for me to grow vegetables than perennials, because I could see like the great benefit with that part of the garden with all the vegetables, with all the food. The kids loved to play there, and they loved to go eating from the plants, etc. So while my time like disappeared, the joy with this place disappeared too. And most of the plants I had here, I don't know if you see it, but it's quite a huge place. It's like I think 3 or 3 meters. The width and the length is, I don't know, it's like 10 or 12 meters long. And I filled it with perennials, and most of them I have sown from seeds. So it was quite a huge work. And as the time went, I could see how the plants like disappeared, and it was a bit sad. Lots of weeds, and I simply could not take time to do something about it. And this summer I have been watching this just thinking to myself, I can't even stand to see it. I don't want to see it. I will just take it away. And last summer it was very dry in Sweden, and I could definitely not spend my water on an area like this. So the flowers were just dying. And the same thing happened this year. So I decided to do something about it, and I also decided to change how I grow things in my garden, and that's because of the dry weather that we have had the last 2 summers. So a couple of years ago I started to create like new areas in the in the garden, in the north parts of the garden, for example. I can go here and show you. I have made places underneath the fruit trees, starting to like build soil and to grow things. Now I find that it's impossible for me to water those areas because they are very small and I have to spend much time, to walk between those areas. It's mad. And it's making me mad. In that big area, it's much more easier because all the garden beds, they are close to each other, and it's easy for me to put like a water hose or the soaking hose or soaker hose or whatever. It's easier to water. So I water, but where it's difficult to water, I don't water. So what I have decided now is that I am going to get rid of those small places and concentrate my my garden beds and the borders with perennials to big places, big areas where it's easier for me to water. And I am standing now in the middle of that kind of area, even if it's not finished yet. So what I'm going to do is to create this place. It's going to be about 10 or 11 meters long, and I don't know exactly the width of it, but it will consist of 5 garden beds, long garden beds, and they are put very close together, and then I will try to make some kind of fence or something around it. And in the area in the back, I am going to build a small greenhouse. I don't know what you call it in English, but I collect things. It's one of my weaknesses. So I have collected windows for the last couple of 20 years or so, and now we are renovating our upper floor. Going to start with that in just a couple of weeks. So I have to move all my windows, and now I think I will use them in a very small greenhouse in that area. So there will be a greenhouse with a lot of garden beds in front, facing south. And in this area, I am not sure how I am going to use it. If I will grow only vegetables, or if I will grow perennials too. Might be a mix, not sure. And this kind of work, people are very interested in how to do this. And I had a question from Molly today, where she asked me why I try to do this quick fix. You can see all those bags over here, and they are soil and wood chips that I have bought. Soil and wood chips. When I created my big kitchen garden it's about 350 square meters, I bought soil too. And just a moment, I am going to shout call for my husband to bring in the dog because he's really disturbing me. Just a minute. Philip, kan du komma och hämta kuling, är du snäll? Sorry about that. I don't know if he heard me. I'll do it myself. He's not happy anywhere. Come. That's better. When I made this part, I ordered 38 tons of soil, and it was very exciting, especially for our children, when the trucks came and dumped this in the garden. And all the areas that I have created after that, I have sort of built soil with, well, the same type, the same way as I do with this palette colors. I fill it with weeds and top it with soil. I have used silage and compost and leaves and grass clippings and whatever. But the first idea, of course, was to create this new part of the garden the same way. But I don't have that much material at the same time to do this in just a summer. Then I would have, I must like collect materials for quite a long time, and I don't think I have that time or that energy at the moment. So I was at a friend's house helping her with the garden, and she had bought soil, and it was kind of cheap. So I decided to go for that too, because then I can, well, basically I can make like 2 garden beds in just a week, and I can start growing them at the same time, and in just a very short while I will be finished. and it's fun, right? And it's easy. So I think I bought 7 sacks of soil and 7 sacks of wood chips. And I think I am going to pay like 3,000 Swedish kronor, like 300 euros. I think it's pretty much the same with dollars, like 300. Yeah. So that's the story behind this part, and now I am going to show you what I am doing, because this is something that many people are very interested in, to create kind of garden beds where you can grow flowers, perennials, like berry bushes and vegetables, and you can do it very quickly. This is our parking lot, and unfortunately we have to keep it here. We can't move it. And just to hide the cars, we have a little cat. I planted 3 years ago, I planted this hedge. And all of this area looked like this until yesterday. So what I did yesterday was that I have this kind of, I don't know even what you call it. Can someone help me with this? It's like a plastic fabric that's used in pathways and in like garden stores and things like that. So I simply put this directly on the ground. I did not remove weeds or old plants or, well, it just looks like this. So I put this directly on top of it, and then wood chips on top of it. And I put it underneath the hedge. Okay, and underneath this I have what do you say? Wellpapp, cardboards and old papers. All the way up here. And then there's another of this fabric on this side. And then I simply dumped soil on top of the layer of cardboard and newspapers. It's that easy. It's really that easy. So what I am going to do now is to put another layer of cardboard here and another layer of fabric just beside, and then I will put soil on top for another garden bed. It's like genius. And most people who want to grow a garden, they want to hire like a digger and they want to remove a lot of things. And I did that with my big kitchen garden. Most people don't create like 300, 400 square meter of kitchen garden at the same time. But this will be 40 to 50 square meters. So it's kind of huge, but it's easy for me to get the cardboards for this area. So it's possible to do it this way. It would not be possible with the several hundred square meters. So yesterday I went to our very small shop that we have in our small village. Hello everyone watching. And I got this huge thing with cardboard. And this is what I'm going to use now in the garden to create more garden beds. And I actually thought I could show you the start. You could just come with me and see how I will do this. I have some huge cardboards in my very small car. Whoops. And I think I will put the camera where you can watch. This is a bit improvised. I hope you can stand that. Right. So I'm just going to take my cardboard and put it on top of the surface. Okay. When I grew up, we had a funny person on TV. His name was Kurt Olsson. He made like funny, stupid things, and I sometimes feel like Kurt Olsson when I'm doing and showing things in my garden. What I do now is that I put the cardboard underneath this fabric. Like this. Okay. And next step is to put some more fabric on the other side. You don't have to be that careful with like how it looks, and you can change things later on. Whoops. I buy this fabric 100 meter. Yep. So now I will simply cut it off and then start to put soil on top here. And before I go to bed, I have 2 garden beds. And I have already prepared a lot of seeds for this. I can tell you more about that in a blog post or something else, how I am going to grow this, because that I can do immediately. I can start grow things now. And even though we are in Sweden, it's possible to grow plenty of like leafy greens and sugar snap peas and herbs and a lot of things in beds like this in the middle of summer. And this is great fun. So tonight, while the boys are doing some boys things, I don't know exactly what, I am going to prepare another bed in my new vegetable garden. And hopefully I can share with you in just a very short time the result. As I said, I'm going to do 5 beds, but I am happy if I can do 1 this evening. Thank you all for watching, and don't forget to subscribe this channel if you want to follow me in this garden and see what I am doing. And also you can hear from me at sarabäckmo.com. I released this week a new podcast episode about grass clippings that you can hear at Sarah's Kitchen Garden in your podcast app or at YouTube, if you want to. Well, nice to see you. Hi, Maria. You just found me while I'm saying goodbye, but well, you get to hear from me another day. Thank you for tonight. Bye-bye.